If you want to join in the fun, please make sure you leave your answer in the chat box. Okay, so join in the fun and let's answer the questions that we can see on your screen. So this live is for anyone who's interested in animals, learning about animals in particular, and especially their young ones, because most people, they may know the name of the animal, like most people do, but naming the young one is what most people struggle with. I may know that this is a cat, but not everyone will know that the young one of a cat is a kitten. All right, so this is what this live is all about. If you want to join in the fun, you're welcome to do so. All right, if you are going to be watching this way after the live session has ended, you can also join in the fun. Type your answers in the chat box. Type your answers in the chat box and let us know what you think. Let's discuss this. So I'm waiting for people to join, and we can look at the different types of animals that we have. All right, I think I'm just going to start off with very simple animals that we know of from our everyday life. All right, those are the animals that I'm going to start with, and then we move on to some that are not so common to everyone. Those are the animals that we really want to focus on. We have some animals that live in habitats where other people have never been to before. For example, you have animals that live in very cold regions, and some people have never traveled to regions that are so cold that temperatures plunge below -10 degrees Celsius. Okay, so as much as they may be familiar with those animals, maybe just from watching them on TV or any other platforms, they also may not know what those animals are. Okay, so we are going to start off with those very simple everyday animals as we wait for some people to join. Like I'm saying, if you watch this session after the live has ended, you are still open to chat in the chat box. Okay, you can still do that. You are welcome to do that. Actually, in fact, I encourage you to do that. I actually encourage you to do that because I want you in my chat box. All right, I need to be interacting with people in my chat box. So the more the merrier. The more the merrier. All right, I think I have assembled quite a number of common animals. I'm going to start off with I'll remove this one for now, and then I'm going to start off with this one. Now, what do we call that animal? What do we call that animal? Everyone knows this animal at least. All right, so this animal is a cat. We all know that this is a cat. And what do you call the young one of a cat? So there are some people call them different names, but some of the names are not very conventional. All right, and they are not very academic. So academically, what do we call the young one of a cat? Okay, so that one is a kitten. All right, so the young one of a cat is a kitten. I'm going to remove cat and I'll put another one like that. If you're watching at home, like I said, way after the live has ended, you are still welcome to comment in the chat. You're still welcome to comment in the chat. What do you call that animal that is on your screen? What do you call that animal? All right, I'll give you a few seconds to look at it, but I think if you really know what it is, by now you should have told me what that animal is. All right, so yes, that animal is a goat. It's a goat. And what do you call the young one of a goat? Is there anyone who knows? All right, the young one of a goat is known as a kid, right? Known as a kid. Okay, we remove goat and we put this one. Do you think you know that animal? What is that animal? And what do you call the young one of that animal? I'll give you a few moments to look at it. It's quite clear though. I think I'm quite sure you can see what that animal is. It's quite clear. What is that animal? Well, some people have seen it live. Some people have not. Just like the last animal, the goat that I showed. Almost everyone has seen a cat live. I wouldn't know. I don't want to be very presumptuous, because there may be some people who haven't really come across a cat before, like in their real life. They may have seen it on television or on social media. There are so many people that post videos and pictures of their cute cats and everything, but someone may not have met it live, and that's a very real possibility. It's very possible. So what do you call the young one of this animal that you see on the screen, and what is it anyway, to start with? All right, so this animal that you see on your screen is a rabbit. Okay, that's a rabbit. And what do you call the young one of a rabbit? Well, that's something that we really need to look up. What do you call the young one of a rabbit? Is there anyone who knows what the young of a rabbit is called? Anyone who knows what we call the young one of a rabbit? What do we call the young one of a rabbit? Oh, it's also a kit. K-I-T, right? So the young one of a rabbit is, it's a kit, K-I-T, or some people call it a kitten as well, just like we call the young one of a cat a kitten. So for a rabbit, apparently, you can also call the young one of a rabbit a kitten. That's what it's called actually. Some people call them a dog, right? For official terms rather, right? So if we are going to be looking at an a doe is actually an adult female, and then we have a buck for an adult male rabbit. So the little one is kit or kitten. All right, that's what we are learning today. Okay, let's remove that and let's place this man's friend. I'm quite sure everyone knows this as well. What do you call that animal that's on the screen? What do you call that animal on your screen? All right, so if you're joining us from home after the session has ended, okay, so this live is just meant to be educational, and it's also meant to be entertaining. All right, so we entertain ourselves by looking and naming animals that we know from our everyday lives, and sometimes animals that we have not met before. Okay, so we get to look at them, their pictures, and also determine what they are actually called, their proper names, and as well as what we call their young ones or their babies. Okay, so what we have on the screen currently is one of the most known animals on earth. And what do you call that animal? Oh, that's a dog. A dog. Everyone knows a dog. Everyone has seen a dog before. And what do you call the young one of a dog? What do you call the young one of a dog? Well, the young one of a dog is known as a puppy. Right? Simple. It's a puppy. Okay. So we all know dogs have puppies. Rabbits have kittens. Cats have kittens. Goats have what? Kids. What else did we talk about? Just a summary of the animals we have looked at so far. So we have looked at a goat, a cat. Yes, just those four. So we said the young one of a cat is a kitten. The young one of a goat is a kid. The young one of a rabbit is also a kitten. And the young one of a dog is a puppy. All right, that's what we've discussed so far. Now let's go to that. All right, that. What do we call the young one of that animal that you see on your screen? And first of all, what animal is that? Right? That's the most important thing. What animal is that which you see on your screen? And what do we call its young? All right, so you can see from the screen there that that animal is actually a bird. Now, which type of a bird thrives in water? So that is a duck. And the young one of a duck is known as what? Young one of a duck, that is a duckling. Okay, so the young one of a duck is a duckling. So that's it for that one. Okay, we move on. If you're watching us after this live, we do this every time. Maybe once or twice a week I go live with different themes, but still, edutainment. Okay, so yeah, just letting you know, if you want to come along next time, you can just hit the subscribe button such that whenever I go live, you'll be notified. Okay, you'll be notified every time I go live. All right, so what's the name of the animal on the screen? Please hit like and subscribe so that this live can go far, and also so I can make more lives like this one. If you like this one, like and subscribe. Okay, you can like and subscribe. All right, so that animal on your screen is a penguin. All right, that's a penguin. And what do we call the young one of a penguin? Is that a bird? Is that a mammal? Is that what's a penguin like? How do you classify a penguin? I don't know whether to classify it as a bird or is just a normal animal. I don't know. Is there anyone who can enlighten me on that? Is a penguin a bird or it's not? All right, so the young one of a penguin is a chick. So that tells us that it's probably a bird. Okay, so it's a chick. And what that tells us is that it is more aligned to birds than any other animal. Okay, and what do we call the young one of a penguin? Or we said it's a chick, but they are called nestlings when they are still, being taken care of by their mothers. That's what they are called. That's all right. And so they are born from eggs, and they are covered in feathers when they are born, and their mothers take care of them by chewing some fish for them, and then, sorry about the noise outside, and then feeding them with the chewed fish. Okay. And we have another animal on the screen there. What do you call that animal? What do you call that animal? It's not a very common animal to some people, but there are some people who know what that animal is called. We do have some. In some African societies, they associate that animal with evil ways, witchcraft, stuff like that. So they don't really like that animal. It's a nocturnal animal, and because of that, it is associated with witchcraft. That's their belief. And then we have some, in some communities and some societies, they actually like this animal. They cherish it. They take care of it. Some will even keep it as a pet. I don't know if that's possible or if anyone has ever done that, but we do have some people who do that. All right. So, what animal is that on your screen? What animal is that one? That animal is an owl. That's an owl. Okay? And that's an owl. And what do you call the young one of an owl? It's still a bird, right? So we would expect the young one to be what? We would expect its young to be a chick as well. I'm not very sure. I'll just verify. Alright? I'm not very sure. I'll just verify. It could probably be a chick as well. Let me verify. Young one of an owl. What do we call the young one of an owl? Oh, it's an owlet. From the word owl, then we add an et. So it's an owlet. The young one of an owl is an owlet. Okay. And since we've talked about the owl, let's move on to this one. What do you call that animal? What do you call that animal? What do you call that animal? Some people know it, some don't. If you do, what do you call that? Anyone who's into farming, who's ever been to a farm before, will know what animal that is. Wait a minute, I'm not live. What is the meaning of this nonsense? What is the name of that animal? I'm live, ain't I? Why is it not showing here? Excuse me.